This is Planets and Profit, where your host, Dr. Deb Peretz, reveals the secrets of business astrology, one entrepreneur at a time.
Hi, I'm Carla Beatrice, and this is Planets and Profit, business astrology for entrepreneurs.
Carla is a professional artist who's taught art classes for over 20 years. She enjoys showing others the many ways that art is used to reflect what one perceives. Her work is informed by her own meditative practice, deepening her connection to the world she sees, feels, and hears. The Ladies' Entrance Holistic Art Studio helps women connect to their creative center through holistic and art-based experiential workshops, classes, and one-on-one healing sessions. Carla's an artist, and we can see this in multiple ways in her birth chart. When something's repeated, it takes on greater significance. There are several signatures for the arts. I always look to Venus, the Sun, and Neptune, along with their correlated signs of Libra, Taurus, Leo, and Pisces when I'm looking for the arts. Libra's focus on relationships and harmony is naturally aligned with aesthetics. Neptune, the planet of imagination, is the cornerstone of creativity. And the Sun and Leo represent the impulse to creative self-expression. I find the fifth house, the home base of Leo and the Sun, to be particularly active for artists. So I wasn't surprised to see that Carla not only has Neptune, the planet of imagination, there, but also Mars and her North Node. Hi, Carla. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
I want to dive in and just ask you about your journey. How did you arrive at your current business?
Oh boy, long question. I would just say life brought me here. I've always been an artist, and I've always been love teaching and doing art with other people. I would say a short story would be after I had my child, my daughter. I realized that I wanted to switch my focus and do art specifically for mothers and women and pregnant women. And at that same time, there was a big shift in my life in terms of my art and how I was connecting or not connecting or needing to connect to my creativity that brought about the whole part of my business, the healing aspect of my business. So as we say, we give and teach what we also need. I was going through a journey of healing through the arts myself, and really wanting to share that with the people that were in my tribe at the time, which were all other mothers. So I switched from children to working with women. And that's a very short version of how I got to be here today doing the Ladies' Entrance.
Thank you. And you know I'm going to ask to dive into the energy part of it. But first,
Sure.
Maybe you could just take a moment to describe what it is that you do.
Sure. So here at the Ladies' Entrance, I offer workshops, art workshops that are holistic in nature that help people connect to their creativity. So we're doing art projects, but we're really focusing on how to connect to ourselves. And the energy aspect of it is that our creative center is our second chakra, and our second chakra, creative center, is our womb space. So when you think of creativity on a much broader level, how can we connect to what it is that keeps us going, or what it is that we're connected to, or what it is that brings us life, or how do we bring life to the things that are important to us? So it's a much broader sense. That's why it's holistic, connecting mind, body, and spirit, but through the arts. And I firmly believe that when we can get in touch with our creativity and do artistic things, we are getting in touch with ourselves and our intuition. And the things that just are special and unique to us, really.
I love it. The idea
Yeah.
of creativity as a healing modality is so powerful, I think, because we don't always honor creativity. And I love that you put that into a holistic healing framework.
Yeah. And I also besides doing workshops, I also do one-on-one energy healing with people. So that's another part of what I do.
And is it a particular modality? Is it Reiki? Is it something else?
Well, I have training in Reiki. However, the part where I have a very specific focus and interest in the pelvic space and creativity, like our energy center, I have training in holistic pelvic energy from Tammy Lynn Kent. And so I've sort of created using like the way that energy moves through me, all of the education and what I've learned about pelvic energy. I do energy work, but I can't say that it's a specific modality because it is just the way that when I interact with people, how my natural way of connecting. So what I do is, and I'm sure, I know in the energy healing world, other people do this. But I draw energy out. So I will do a physical manifestation, a drawing that is a representation of the energy healing experience that I have with a person, and they get to take home this visual energy. I don't know exactly what you call it. I call them energy portraits. So I interact with the artwork as if I was interacting with the person, their physical being, and they receive the healing that way.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah. So they actually have an energy portrait to take home with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what did you do before this? Like, how did you get? What was your former career or careers before?
Well, like I said, like ever since I was a little girl, I loved art. Knew I was going to be an artist, and I've had my own challenges, like I said, my own healing and path of connecting and reconnecting to creativity. But I did go to an art school. I went to the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, and I've always also just loved, teaching. I worked at the museum as a museum educator at the, combining arts with education and kids. I've been a camp counselor as well.
Carla loves combining art and education. This makes a lot of sense with her Venus exactly conjunct Mercury in the 7th house. Conjunct means the planets are right on top of each other, merging their energies. Venus is a planet of the arts, and Mercury is the patron planet of teachers. So it's a natural signature for an art teacher. Add to that it's sextile her midheaven, which is the cusp of the 10th house of profession and career. And you can see that she's a natural art teacher, career-wise. The planets themselves are in the 7th house. This is the home base for both Libra and Venus, further emphasizing this connection to art appreciation, connection with others, and aesthetics. So it's a great placement for someone who brings art to others, to non-artists.
And I worked for the Philadelphia Mural Arts program when I first graduated finished school. So arts and education and being a fine artist, that was my jam. And then the healing, like I said, the healing part, kind of evolved.
No, I love it. You can see definitely in that journey that art's always been a part of what you did, but then you moved from children to working with women.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, what aspect of your personality do you feel supports you in this business? What are your strengths?
Well, I would go back to like the camp counselor side of me, like the, hey, let's have fun. It's okay. You know, the really like super supportive, like, hey, nurturing. I would have to say there's, you know, I'm a mom, and even before I became a mom, I just really enjoy helping people and being with people and creating with people and connecting with people and seeing what they come up with. I think it's amazing when I watch creativity unfold in front of me. So, and when I was a camp counselor, you know, or creating art classes, I make things fun. We need things to be fun. We can't, but at the same time, I have that balance of the, you know, seriousness of, or just being able to go to places that maybe, you know what I mean, are more, I don't know what the right word would be, but intimate or deep or really just deep connection. So I guess it's a balance, maybe. I mean, it's a good question because it's kind of hard to like speak about yourself, like, hey, what makes you different? So yeah.
I love it. Interjecting an aspect of fun, an element of fun to all this, I think is important. It's something I like to do in my own work, as you can see in the beginning of these shows. I've got, you know, my sense of fun comes through. So let me ask you about obstacles that you've had to overcome in this business. In other words, well, in addition to obstacles, what things bring you out of your comfort zone for the business?
For the business, well, I think that just for a lot of artists in general, it's like you cannot avoid the question, how are you going to make a living doing what you love as an artist? It's out there, right? And so ever since I was very young, I also got that very clear message. Oh, great, you're an artist? Okay, good luck.
What's your day job?
What's your day job? And that's always been a challenge. The other challenge I would say is, for me personally, was that some people, my personality, like I'm an idea person. I come up with ideas. I want to do things. Like it was hard for me to see myself in a job or a profession. I'm an idea person, and I have my own way of doing things. So, you know what I mean? Like here I was an artist, needing to make a living, figuring out how do I do what I want to do.
The artist who feels the fear of not being able to support herself and does it anyway. Carla has Aries on the midheaven. Again, that's the cusp of the 10th house of career and profession and public image. And it's one of the most important points in the birth chart. Usually when we think of Aries, we think of aggression, courage, defensiveness, but it's also the pioneer, the one who goes out and does without thinking, without worrying about what happens. It craves experience to follow its impulse. It finds courage and forges forward, path unknown. In many ways, that's what Carla's doing when she combines this art with her healing modality on her own journey. Knowing how hard it is to support yourself with art, but doing it anyway, it's a nice image of how Aries does art.
And then what are these other jobs that I feel okay in, but really deep down, like I'm my own boss, really, or I'm going to do the most work for myself. I can totally get behind other amazing jobs or businesses and work. But I've always just been more of a contractor, a contributor, you know what I mean? Like getting behind, and I've met other amazing people that are doing amazing things. So I think as far as obstacles, it's for any entrepreneur, it's doing what you love, getting it out there, making that connection, and and then another layer to that is when you're in the energy healing or the holistic arts, like these are alternative art forms that aren't exactly as like I'm taking things and putting them together, that there's it's not like I'm doing my own practice that's already an established thing. Like
you're creating your
I'm
field.
creating it.
Yes.
So not only do you have to I think a lot of part of it is education in a way too. Educating people, like, this is what I do. So there's just a lot of pieces to put together.
Yes. So I just wanted to push a little, thinking of all the different pieces that running your own business, running this particular business, what activities in running the business take you out of your comfort zone? And I'm thinking, sales, marketing,
oh yeah,
follow up, planning. Where do you have to push yourself a little bit? It's like,
I will
want to do this.
Vulnerable here because I know what the answer is. And the answer is, it's always been hard for me to accept payment, to accept money, to accept an exchange for something that I naturally am just feeling like I want to give. I'm a giver, right? I want to give. And also I love doing art and or doing the energy portraits. It comes easy to me. So it's my personal self-worth, my personal value. It's been hard for me to receive. So anything that has to do with the money part of business, which is I need money to make my business go, right? But that's being comfortable. That's my personal stumbling. I don't know if I'd call it a stumbling block, but
outside your comfort zone.
Outside my comfort zone. And I think it is because in my own the own reel that goes in my mind is nobody understands what I do, or how could somebody else like, this is something new. It's not something that sort of people already know about. So I feel, you know what I mean? It's hard being the person that is gifting something and putting it out there, but it's not really known. And so I'm like, I don't know exactly how to say it, but
I understand exactly.
I'm feeling very vulnerable saying this, because part of being a business person is what I do is great and I can help you and here, let's do it. And what I rely on, what I feel, what helps me is my testimonials, is people telling me, like, to me, that's the payment, really. I feel like that's the payment when I know that somebody else has received something or benefited, or that's the payment. For me to accept actual money is a little bit different. It's different.
Would it surprise you to discover how common that is, especially among women entrepreneurs in the holistic space or in the service space?
I'm sure it is.
And in fact, for those of you who are listening, in episode 1 is Christine Schlonsky. I interviewed her, and her niche is helping entrepreneurs who are afraid of selling. That's one of her superpowers, and that's why I joined her membership community. And Coach is like, yeah, I understand this. How do we overcome our fear of selling? If I had a nickel for every time I heard a woman business owner say, yeah, I would do this for free if I could. And so I don't, you're in very good company.
Yeah.
Let me see. What's your business superpower?
Superpower. I think I'm just really great at holding space for people and helping people feel comfortable and connecting, whatever that looks like. So maybe my superpower is openness, creativity for sure. I can take anything and be like, hey, let's have some fun with this, being open. And yeah, I mean, people say they feel really comfortable with me. And yeah, or people say that I'm able to bring things out that are challenging for them to get in touch with for themselves, yet it's that they feel comfortable and they're able to have their own, personal aha moments with creative, whether it's we're doing something together artistically or whether I'm doing the one-on-one work. They're like, wow, you helped me see parts of myself that I didn't know were there or were hidden, or I feel better now. Thank you. Things like that. So
let me ask you, having said that, can you give an example of a moment in your business, maybe with a client, where it impacted you emotionally? Like, yeah, this is why I'm doing this, or any story to share from your work that kind of exemplifies, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
That's so hard because there's so many moments, because I have so many I love watching, so another big part of what I do is I enjoy doing, community stuff, like things where the community comes together. So one thing I did in Beverly for the Beverly Arts Fest was I do a lot with nests, and we created a giant nest. And so people that were coming to the art fair could, I brought a whole bunch of twigs and things, and I was like, come on, let's build this nest together, and seeing kids come, seeing their wide open eyes, were like, oh, really? We can do this? That innocence and just fun. And we made this big giant nest, and then I had a bunch of ribbons, and I was like, you get to pick whatever ribbon you want to decorate with this nest. And so by the end, we had this ginormous nest. We had beautiful, colorful ribbons all around it. And so that day of being able to watch kids come, and parents and adults. See, I love when everybody's involved, because we're all kids at heart. At any age we are, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can connect with your creativity, right? And so I'm just, for some reason, that day's coming out to my mind right now, but that day of giving an offering to the community and seeing people take part in that and bringing them a little bit of joy, why not make a giant nest? And then I remember, so I had the giant nest and I put it on a, what's it called? A stand, the pallets, one of those big pallets with wheels on it. And here I was at the end of the day, dragging this thing. It was huge and ginormous, down the middle of downtown Beverly, this huge giant nest. But to me, that's life. Hey, why not see this big, you know what I mean? That brings joy. And I just love, that's what I really love, is seeing the spark of people come alive and connecting with something creative, or something that brings aliveness to them, because that's what creativity is. What makes you feel connected? What brings you joy? What lights you up? What's that thing that you could spend hours doing and time just flies by? That's creativity.
I love
it. So when we talk about creativity, again, going into the energetics of things, that's life force energy. What makes you run, so anytime that I think we can get excited or get in touch with that, whether you consider yourself creative or not, you know what I mean? It's not about that. It's getting in touch with that aliveness, that life force, that second chakra of connection. and creation, like making something that wasn't there before because of you. You did it. To me, I guess that's really what it's all about. It's not about the painting. It's not about the piece that you make. It's, the process of that. And if you make collage is a lot of fun because people can get really close to themselves. It's a great way to connect. Mm-hmm. And you create a collage and you see a piece of yourself, or it can, motivate you to like, wait, yes, that's what's important to me.
I love it.
Yeah.
So how would your clients describe you in 5 words or less? Or give me clients? 5 words that clients would use to describe you.
I'm kind of thinking more about how my friends would describe me. It's hard for me to think about clients. But you want me to say clients? Oh.
Or how about networking colleagues?
Networking?
Both.
Well, creative, fun, generous, caring, nurturing. Is that 5?
No, I'll take it. No, that sounds really good.
This is hard. You're asking hard questions. I love it.
Yeah, talking about ourselves. I
yes.
find it's easy to talk about the clients and what you give to them, but when we turn the table and have to talk about ourselves, all of a sudden it's a little outside.
Oh, yes.
All right, one final question for you. 2 final questions.
Okay.
1, what is one goal you have for your business for 2021?
Oh, that's easy. I am I'm so excited. I am doing a nest project for 2021. It was postponed from COVID-19. And my goal is to put it out there in the fall. I believe it will be September. I'm doing this very important project. For me, again, it's healing through the arts, and it's also an offering to the community.
What a wonderful description of the moon in Taurus in the 10th house. Again, the 10th house represents career, profession, public image. And Carla has emotional, sensitive, and nurturing moon here. What's more, it's in Taurus, one of the signs ruled by Venus, the patron planet of the arts. Carla's focus here is on helping survivors of sexual abuse and incest. Suddenly, courageous Aries on the midheaven takes on a new meaning. Aries is an energy of existential courage. Carla's Nest Project is the embodiment of courage needed by abuse survivors that they must find to reclaim their lives and heal themselves. This is powerfully symbolized by the feminine, nurturing, healing moon in Taurus in the 10th house.
And this is where I will be creating, it's a collaboration. I'm working with other artists as well, with Debbie Baxter from Portland, Oregon. She's an amazing photographer who photographs people in nests and creates the nests. So I am getting very special people in my life to help me, along with Debbie, to create this nest. And we're going to be doing some photography, photo shoots, and specifically, we're going to do an offering for survivors of trauma, specifically incest and childhood sexual abuse. So this is like a big thing I've been working on for quite some time, wanting to do, and to not shift my business, but to be more out there and making offerings. My goal for 2021 is to do workshops specifically for survivors. And so that's my big goal. Continue to do what I'm doing, but And that does feed into, I guess, going back to talking in the beginning, we were talking about, we give and offer and do what we need to learn, or what we're doing, or what we're experiencing ourselves. So so for me, part of my arts and healing is as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and incest. So
I think it's amazing how you're turning this experience into an avenue for healing others as well as yourself. Mm-hmm. I look forward to seeing this Nest project when it comes out.
Yeah, I am so excited about it.
Yeah. Now, listeners who want to learn more about you or get in touch with you, how do they best reach you?
Sure. My website is www.ladiesentrance.com. And my Instagram is also Ladies Entrance Art Studio, and my Facebook page is Ladies Entrance Art Studio. I think that's the best way to reach out to me.
Great. I'll include all of those links in the show notes in the description.
Great.
Thank you so much for being with us here today. This was wonderful. And I look forward to seeing when the Nest project does come out. You have to make sure to let me know.
Oh, I definitely will. Definitely will. Thank you so much.
Thank you again to Carla Beatrice for allowing us a peek into the astrology of an artist and healer for whom creativity is an expression of the life force. Do check out the Survivor Nest project at www.survivornest.com. They have a Kickstarter campaign going on right now. It ends August 13th. You can find the link to this campaign on the Survivor Nest website or here in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please do take a moment right now to subscribe, rate, and review, and share with your friends. This will help get the word out about the Planet and Profit podcast. Thank you for spending your precious time with me today, and I'll see you next episode.